David Daleiden is the pro-life citizen journalist behind the Center for Medical Progress and its undercover Planned Parenthood videos. We sat down with him last week to get the latest on his legal battles, and it became clear very quickly that Daleiden had a number of legal run-ins with former California Attorney General and now a Democratic presidential candidate, Kamala Harris. That's where we pick up our conversation for this week's Pro-Life Focus. Tell us more about your encounters with her and a raid on your apartment?
Yeah. So in April of 2016, at the behest of Planned Parenthood, Kamala Harris ordered a search warrant served on my home in Orange County. I think it was a total of 11 agents of the California Department of Justice sent by Kamala Harris came in, overturned my entire one-bedroom apartment. They seized all of the video recording equipment, all of my computer equipment, everything that was, all the electronic equipment that was used to do the undercover filming. Fortunately, there were backup hard drives and attorneys had copies of stuff and other things. So they didn't take anything that I absolutely needed in order to continue to do my work, but they primarily, they were looking for the videos and they were looking for the original videos. We have in the investigator notes from the Attorney General's office now, they recorded in their case notes Planned Parenthood specifically requesting of Kamala Harris's office that they would specifically go in and seize the videos from me. So they were trying to take all the raw footage away and trying to do a huge cover-up. They weren't successful at doing that, but that's just one of many things that Kamala Harris, as Attorney General of California, was willing to do to put the powers of her law enforcement office at the service of the interests of a powerful and favored political backer at Planned Parenthood.
That being said, she is a likely 2020 presidential candidate. What do you want viewers to know about her as we see that she will likely run?
Yeah, I just saw her recently on, I think it was MSNBC, talking about the confirmation hearings of William Barr, who's the new nominee for Attorney General. And Senator Harris was opining that really nominee Barr, if confirmed, probably she thinks should recuse himself from the Russia investigation because of some op-eds he's written about the Mueller probe or something like that. Well, when Kamala Harris had the Planned Parenthood case, which was the investigation of me, brought before her as Attorney General, while she was running for U.S. Senate, while Planned Parenthood in California was contributing to her political campaign and she was fundraising for them, fundraising off of her goodwill with Planned Parenthood for her senatorial campaign, did she recuse herself from the Planned Parenthood investigation? No, she didn't. In fact, she didn't even set up, they sometimes talk about having a wall of separation in the prosecutor's office in order to make sure that there's no improper crossover. Not only did she not recuse, did she not set up a wall of separation, she consciously and willfully involved herself directly and personally in the Planned Parenthood case. She had an in-person meeting with 6 Planned Parenthood executives from California in Los Angeles 2 weeks before the raid on my apartment. We have the action item notes and the email from her assistant from that meeting.
Wow.
They show that among the Planned Parenthood folks present, 2 of them were witnesses in the criminal investigation that Kamala Harris's office was orchestrating against me and Sandra. And they show that the agenda items that Kamala Harris discussed with those Planned Parenthood witnesses and representatives at that meeting included both Planned Parenthood's political agenda in California and issues in the criminal investigation. So there was a direct mixing of her political roles and political agenda and campaign agenda and political agenda of an outside third party, directly mixed in, inseparable from her role as a law enforcement officer.
That is some powerful insight right there. You mentioned William Barr. He is currently in the confirmation process for him to become potentially the next Attorney General of the United States. He's a fellow Catholic as well. If he is in fact confirmed, what action would you like to see him take, and and for the Department of Justice to take on Planned Parenthood?
I really hope that the Department of Justice will start to do its job and hold Planned Parenthood accountable to the law the same way that any other organization or any other entity should be held accountable to the law. I think there's a great irony of the past 2 years here with the Department of Justice that DOJ and FBI have been rather vigorously investigating and prosecuting a group of Native Americans in North and South Dakota who were trafficking and selling in the body parts of bald eagles. And they were harvesting and selling bald eagle body parts across the country for profit. And they have been vigorously investigated and indicted and prosecuted by the U.S. Department of Justice. And yet, meanwhile, it's been 2 years and Planned Parenthood still hasn't been indicted or prosecuted for harvesting and selling the body parts of tiny preborn children. And you would think that, especially under a pro-life administration, that surely the body parts of unborn children and the trafficking and selling of baby body parts is just as horrific and just of as much concern as the harvesting and selling and trafficking of bald eagle body parts. So, we did get some good news about a year ago. It was announced by the US DOJ that they had opened an active criminal investigation of some of the biggest Planned Parenthood affiliates in the country, plus their business partners, based on the criminal referrals from the congressional investigations that were very good and very thorough. So it's been about a year now. The public hasn't heard anything since, but I do hope that if someone as experienced as Attorney General Barr were to be confirmed, I mean, maybe not even before the confirmation, but really it's been a year now, and I think it's important for people to see that nobody is above the law, and DOJ should do their job on this the same way that they're doing their job on eagle body parts, should be done on baby body parts as well.
We'll bring you part 2 of our interview with David Daleiden next week.
As far as being careful, I think that it's incumbent on the Attorney General to step aside in the Planned Parenthood investigation. She should not be cheerleading for Planned Parenthood on her website at the same time that she should be trying to be independent.
Somebody gotta do it. Somebody gotta do it. Yeah.
I can't hit, nigga.
Yeah. Save the baby, save the kids. Have the baby, let it go, just let it live.
New York Governor Cuomo signed the Reproductive Health Care Act into law, which expanded the circumstances under which...
I'm telling you, that woman, that's Satanism writ large. I mean, if you're a TV viewer, you're seeing it. Radio listeners can't see this. I mean, these people are... Well, it's Satanism. Back it up again. You want to see Satanism? Like they're reveling in the defeat of innocence. They're reveling in just all of it. This is a ecstasy moment right now. Let's continue.
Can legally obtain an abortion, including up until the moment of birth. And on January 28th, the Virginia legislature introduced a similar bill. The mainstream media will simply not address the established aborted baby market, one that Planned Parenthood, which is heavily supported by George Soros, has been actively involved in, as 2 of Planned Parenthood's business partners, Da Vinci Biosciences and DV Biologics, have admitted guilt in a $7.8 million settlement with the Orange County District Attorney for selling aborted baby body parts from Planned Parenthood of Orange and San Bernardino counties.
Hey, pause again. That's why they're so pissed. This is just one county. They're selling organs everywhere. Some people are making $2-3 million a year as doctors, nurses making $300 grand. So they need to get laws passed to keep them alive, because you want to keep them alive a few days. Mom, like, we kept them alive. They're comfortable, like the governor said. And then once that's going on, they can keep them alive till they get that broker and get the price up. Instead of 300 grand, 500 grand, 600 grand. So see, that's why they're laughing like, bitches, you think we're going to stop killing kids? Woo! We just legalized child sacrifice. Woo! Yeah! Let's go back.
Parts from Planned Parenthood of Orange and San Bernardino counties for profit in violation of federal and California law, as reported by the Center for Medical Progress.
Aborted babies' bodies are a very valuable commodity in today's America. Research institutions, elite universities, medical centers pay a lot of money for baby parts. I find myself in complete shock saying that on television in America in 2019, but you can buy the arms and legs and skin of babies today.
Joe Biden claims he has empathy for the vulnerable, yet the party he leads supports the extreme late-term abortion of defenseless babies right up until the moment of birth.
Throughout his career, Joe Biden was one of those Democrats that said while he supported abortion rights, he didn't support taxpayer funding of abortion. He voted consistently for what's known as the Hyde Amendment that prevented taxpayer dollars from being used here at home for abortion. But it was about a year ago, Joe Biden abandoned his historic opposition to taxpayer funding of abortion. And now Joe Biden supports taxpayer funding of abortion all the way up to the moment of birth. Well, President Donald Trump has stood strong for the Hyde Amendment. We'll stand strong to oppose taxpayer funding of abortion at home or abroad. And President Donald Trump will be the most pro-life president in American history for 4 more years.
I'm pro-life, he's not, and the Democrats, look who he's putting on the court. They want to put people on the court. You have no chance. So I'm pro-life, the Democrats aren't. Nobody can say that Biden isn't. Look at his stance over the years. But you know, and I know, Biden's not going to be running things. It's going to be run by other people. Biden's shot. It's one of those things, I hate to say it, but Biden is shot. Good. But the Democrats are not, it's not just him, it's a party, it's a platform. Take a look at the platform. Look at the governor of Virginia. Look at what he did. He did an execution after, normally they talk about late term. His wasn't late term. His was the baby was born, and then you can execute the baby. That's the Democrats, and that's Biden.
Joe Biden is defending himself after a woman said he made her uncomfortable during a campaign appearance when he was vice president. He says he never meant to make Democrat Lucy Flores uncomfortable when in 2014 he kissed the back of her head and smelled her hair. Now eyeing a run for the presidency, Biden's out to show he's in step with the Democratic Party on key issues, including abortion. Capitol Hill correspondent Jason Calvi has more. Good evening, Jason.
Good evening, Lauren. Joe Biden once criticized Roe v. Wade. Then later, he supported it. The former Delaware senator voted for the partial birth abortion ban. But his last National Right to Life scorecard lists the Catholic lawmaker with a 0% pro-life voting record. Liberals are asking, is Joe Biden liberal enough?
I have the most progressive record of anybody running.
But that wasn't always his story. Flashback to 1974, a year after Roe v. Wade. He told the Washingtonian magazine, "I don't like the Supreme Court decision on abortion. I think it went too far. I don't think that a woman has the sole right to say what should happen to her body." Over the years, his abortion record has been mixed. The 1981 Biden amendment mandates U.S. foreign aid cannot be used to pay for research related to abortion. And this is National Right to Life scorecard from 1983 to 88. The X's are times Biden voted with the pro-life group. The O's are times he voted against them. He did vote in 1995 and 2003 to ban partial birth abortions. But National Right to Life says Biden never voted with them again.
Abortion is one of the most, one of the most evil acts that we, the people of the United States of America, especially Christians, have allowed to happen. We have allowed the children of the lie to convince young men and women that abortion is no big deal. The children of the lie have convinced children of truth that abortion is no big deal. Abortion is evil. And women who are having abortions and have had them are suffering the consequence of it. The one thing I notice about life, by knowing myself, if you don't deal with evil in your own personal life, you will suffer the consequence. It seems as though you get away with it, but you really don't. And abortion is evil. And anyone, man or woman, who encourages a woman to have an abortion is evil. And men who goes along with women having abortions are evil. It's an evil thing. It's not good. It is a human being in the body created by God. And we just don't have a right to take that life. And just because the children of the lie are convincing you that it's good, that doesn't make it good. It doesn't make it right. And you will suffer abortion. You really will. And it's just a bad thing. So I had my producer, James, look up some stats on abortion this morning. And he did a little quick examination of research. And he gave me this information. Numbers from the CDC and Guttmacher Institute indicates black women aborted about 30 to 32% of pregnancies. Black women alone, not the white women, not the Mexicans, no one else, but black women aborted 30 to 32% of pregnancies. Recent rates were at least 1,000 to 1,200 abortions per day. So according to the CDC and Guttmacher, black women are aborting between 1,000 to 1,200 babies. They're killing in their wombs between 1,000 to 1,200 babies every day. I believe that number to be higher. Some are saying that abortions are going down. I find that hard to believe, but hopefully it's true. But black women, according to the CDC, not according to Jesse Lee Peterson, black women are aborting 1,000 to 1,200 babies. They're killing these children inside their wombs every day. So today, up to 1,200 black babies, according to the CDC, will be aborted. Breitbart is reported in New York City for a number of years, and possibly still going on, more blacks were aborted than were born. In New York City alone, more blacks were aborted, killed in the wombs, than were born. 56 to 57% of black pregnancies ended in abortion in New York. 56 to 57% of black babies were aborted in New York alone. The latest numbers on total annual reported abortions in America are 650,000 abortions in 2014. 20 to 30 years ago, it was well over 1 million annually. So the latest number on total annual reported abortions in America are 650,000 abortions in 2014. 20 to 30 years ago, it was well over 1 million yearly. And so what happened to the hearts and minds of America, men and women, that will allow abortion, the killing of human beings, the killings of the creation of God, to happen inside the woman's womb? Who convinced America that abortion is no big deal? Who convinced women that is her body, her choice? Their bodies, their choice. All these made-up slogans that sounds good are evil. And so every woman who has had an abortion are evil. You've killed your child, and in some cases, children inside your womb. Human beings are created by God. It's He and He alone who gives life to human beings. It's He and He alone who decide will come to this earth. The most dangerous place in America today for a child is in the woman's womb. This has to stop. This is evil. And we can stop it by not going along with the children of the lie. It's not the woman's body, and it's not her choice. And men who are making these babies, you have a responsibility too. We can no longer allow this to happen. And these little fancy slogans that convince us that it's okay must stop. This is evil. It's not her body, and it's not her choice. And women, young women who are being convinced of this are suffering later in life, taking their own lives for killing children in their wombs.
Democratic Senator and presidential candidate Kamala Harris claimed during a recent interview that women will die if abortion is restricted. That is this week's Speak Out segment. In a recent interview on NBC's The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, Harris argued women will resort to dangerous back alley abortions if the procedure is restricted. Take a listen.
You know, and in some of these cases, it's not an extreme statement to say that women will die because poor women, a lot of, women of color are the ones who are not going to be able to travel to a state to have a physician-assisted procedure.
In a Democratic primary season where candidates seem more focused on outdoing each other on abortion, these remarks by Harris still stand out. Harris is resorting to fear-mongering in order to defend her abortion position. She claims women will die if abortion is restricted. What does she mean? If she's referring to back alley abortions, we know those numbers were greatly inflated leading into Roe v. Wade. The co-founder of NARAL, Dr. Bernard Nathanson, admitted he inflated those numbers. Or is Harris claiming abortion is necessary for women's health care? Abortion is never medically necessary to save the life of a mother. That is a fact thousands of OBGYNs have testified to. Harris is both stirring up hysteria and spreading misinformation in order to gain support for her extreme abortion stance.
It is my profound honor to be the first president in history to attend the March for Life. We're here for a very simple reason: to defend the right of every child, born and unborn, to fulfill their God-given potential. For 47 years, Americans of all backgrounds have traveled from across the country to stand for life. And today, as President of the United States, I am truly proud to stand with you. I want to welcome tens of thousands, this is a tremendous turnout, tens of thousands of high school and college students who took long bus rides to be here in our nation's capital. And to make you feel even better, there are tens of thousands of people outside that we passed on the way in. If anybody would like to give up their spot, we can work that out. You have a tremendous group of people outside, thousands and thousands wanting to get in. This is some great success. Young people are the heart of the March for Life, and it's your generation that is making America the pro-family, pro-life nation. The life movement is led by strong women, amazing faith leaders, and brave students who carry on the legacy of pioneers before us who fought to raise the conscience of our nation and uphold the rights of our citizens. You embrace mothers with care and compassion. You are powered by prayer and motivated by pure, unselfish love. You're grateful, and we are so grateful. These are incredible people. All of us here today understand an eternal truth. Every child is a precious and sacred gift from God. Together, we must protect, cherish, and defend the dignity and the sanctity of every human life. When we see the image of a baby in the womb, we glimpse the majesty of God's creation. When we hold a newborn in our arms, we know the endless love that each child brings to a family. When we watch a child grow, we see the splendor that radiates from each human soul. One life changes the world. From my family, and I can tell you, I send love and I send great, great love. And from the first day in office, I've taken a historic action to support America's families and to protect the unborn. And during my first week in office, I reinstated and expanded the Mexico City policy, and we issued a landmark pro-life rule to govern the use of Title X taxpayer funding. I notified Congress that I would veto any legislation that weakens pro-life policies or that encourages the destruction of human life. At the United Nations, I made clear that global bureaucrats have no business attacking the sovereignty of nations that protect innocent life. Unborn children have never had a stronger defender in the White House. And as the Bible tells us, each person is wonderfully made. We have taken decisive action to protect the religious liberty. So important, religious liberty has been under attack all over the world, and frankly, very strongly attacked in our nation. You see it better than anyone, but we are stopping it, and we're taking care of doctors, nurses, teachers, and groups like the Little Sisters of the Poor. We are preserving faith-based adoption, and to uphold our founding documents, we have confirmed 187 federal judges who apply the Constitution as written, including 2 phenomenal Supreme Court justices, Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. We are protecting pro-life students' right to free speech on college campuses. And if universities want federal taxpayer dollars, then they must uphold your First Amendment right to speak your mind, and if they don't, they pay a very big financial penalty, which they will not be willing to pay. Sadly, the far left is actively working to erase our God-given rights, shut down faith-based charities, ban religious believers from the public square, and silence Americans who believe in the sanctity of life. They are coming after me because I am fighting for you, and we are fighting for those who have no voice, and we will win because we know how to win.
Save the baby, save the baby, save the kids. Have the baby, let it go, just let it live. Save the baby, save the baby, save the kids. Have the baby, let it grow and let it live.